Welcome to the Live Free, Love Life podcast, where we discuss how to create more freedom so we can love our lives no matter what we're going through. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to today's episode of the Live Free, Love Life podcast. Today, we're diving deep into two game-changing books that have revolutionized the way I think about habits and personal growth. Atomic Habits by James Clear and Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. These brilliant authors have cracked the code on how to create lasting change in our lives, and I am stoked to share their wisdom with you. Now, if you're a reader, I highly recommend both of these books. If you're not, no worries. I'm going to give you a good enough summary today that you can implement their teachings and change your life without having to read the books. Now, we are going to explore how good habits can be your ticket to freedom, while those pesky bad habits, they are the invisible chains holding you back from the life you are meant to live. So get comfortable and let's embark on a journey that could totally transform your world. James Clear's Atomic Habits introduces the idea that tiny, consistent changes can lead to remarkable results over time. It's like compound interest for your life. Clear argues that our habits shape our identity, and by focusing on small improvements every day, we can become the person we want to be. Clear breaks down the habit forming process into 4 simple steps. Number 1, cue, the trigger that initiates the behavior. 2, craving, the motivation or desire for change. 3, response, the actual habit or behavior you perform. And 4, reward, the benefit you gain from doing the behavior. By understanding and optimizing each of these steps, we can create habits that stick and propel us forward toward our goals. Now, one of Clear's key insights is the concept of habit stacking, attaching a new habit to an existing one. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. This strategy makes it easier to remember and implement new habits by piggybacking on routines we already have. Now, here is where the freedom comes in. When you build positive habits, you're essentially creating systems that work for you on autopilot. Imagine waking up every morning and automatically doing the things that move you closer to your goals without having to rely on willpower, motivation, or thought work. That's freedom, my friends. Clear also emphasizes the importance of environment design in habit formation. By creating an environment that makes good habits easy and bad habits difficult, we set ourselves up for success. This might mean putting your gym clothes out the night before or keeping healthy snacks at eye level in your fridge. BJ Fogg takes a similar approach in Tiny Habits, emphasizing the power of starting incredibly small. We're talking ridiculously tiny here, like doing 1 push-up after you pee or flossing 1 tooth after brushing. The beauty of this method is that it makes new habits feel almost effortless, eliminating the resistance we often face when trying to make big changes. Fogg introduces the concept of behavior design, which involves 3 key elements. Number 1, motivation, your desire to do the behavior. Number 2, ability, how easy or difficult that behavior is to do. And number 3, prompt, the trigger that reminds you to do the behavior. He argues that by making behaviors tiny, increasing ability, and linking them to existing habits, creating reliable prompts, we can create new habits even when motivation is low. Fogg's ABCs of behavior change are anchor, an existing routine or event in your life, behavior, the tiny new habit you want to create, and celebration, an immediate positive emotion to reinforce the behavior. For example, after I brush my teeth, anchor, I will floss 1 tooth, behavior, then smile at myself in the mirror, celebration. By mastering these tiny habits, you're building your habit muscle and proving to yourself that you can change. This newfound confidence and momentum can snowball into bigger changes, giving you the freedom to shape your life exactly as you want. Fogg also introduces the concept of shine, which is about cultivating positive emotions around your new habit. By celebrating your wins, no matter how small, you're more likely to stick with your new behaviors and feel good about yourself in the process. Now let's talk about those sneaky bad habits that keep us stuck. You know the ones: scrolling social media for hours, procrastinating on important tasks, or stress eating a whole bag of chips. Been there, done that. These habits often provide short term comfort or distraction, but they rob us of our freedom in the long run. Both Clear and Fog offer strategies for breaking free from these habits. Number one, make it obvious. Identify your triggers and create visual cues to remind you of your goals. Clear suggests using a habit scorecard to become aware of your current habits and their impact on your life. Number two, make it unattractive. Find ways to make your bad habits less appealing. One way to do this is to remind yourself of the specific negative consequences. For example, scrolling now means I'll be tired and cranky tomorrow, which will affect my work and family time. Number three, make it difficult. Increase friction for bad habits. This might mean putting your phone in another room while you work or using website blockers during certain hours. Number four, make it unsatisfying. Create immediate negative consequences for your bad habits. You could use a habit contract or an accountability partner to help keep you on track. Number five, reduce exposure. Fogg emphasizes the importance of removing yourself from environments that trigger bad habits. If you can't avoid the trigger entirely, try to modify your environment to make the habit less likely. Number six, replace, don't erase. Instead of trying to completely eliminate a bad habit, both authors suggest replacing it with a more positive behavior that satisfies the same underlying need. Clear recommends using implementation intentions. If trigger, then I will new behavior to replace unwanted habits with positive ones. The key is to approach habit change with curiosity and self compassion. Remember, you're not broken, you're just human, and humans can learn, grow, and change at any age. So, how can you put these ideas into action and start creating habits that give you more freedom? Here are some steps to get you started. Step number one, identify your goals. What kind of freedom do you crave? More time, better health, financial independence? Be specific about what you want to achieve. Step number two, start ridiculously small. Choose one tiny habit that aligns with your goal. Remember, we're talking tiny here. If you want to start running, begin with putting on your running shoes and standing outside for 30 seconds. Number three, anchor it to an existing habit. Find your anchor moment, as Fogg calls it. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will write down one thing I'm grateful for. That's the anchor moment. Step number four, celebrate immediately. Do a little happy dance. Say, I'm awesome, or anything that makes you feel good about taking action. This positive reinforcement is crucial for habit formation. Step five, stack your habits. As you master one tiny habit, gradually add more, creating a habit stack that moves you towards your goals. Clear suggests creating a list of daily, weekly, and monthly habits that you would like to build. Number six, be patient and consistent. Remember, you're playing the long game here. Clear emphasized the importance of systems over goals. Focus on showing up consistently rather than achieving perfection. Step number seven, track your progress. Use a habit tracker or a journal to monitor your new habits. This visual representation of your progress can be incredibly motivating. Step number eight, design your environment. Set up your surroundings to support your new habits. This might mean creating a dedicated workspace or prepping healthy meals in advance. Now, step number nine, join a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. Surround yourself with people who are already practicing the habits you want to develop. Their influence can be powerful in shaping your own behavior. And step number 10, reflect and adjust. Regularly review your habits and their impact on your life. Be willing to tweak or change habits that aren't serving you well. So let's take a moment to soak in some wisdom from Clear and Fogg. Here are some of my favorite quotes from both books that really drive home the power of habits in creating freedom. So let's start with Atomic Habits by James Clear. Quote number one, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. I can't even begin to tell you how much freedom your systems can give you. Quote number 2, every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. So let me tell you a little story about this one. The first time I read this book, this sentence really stuck out to me. I'm one of those people who takes voting seriously. I can't, in good conscience, vote for something I don't believe in. And at the time, I was working on weight loss. So I set up 2 jars. I put a picture on each jar. One had a picture of who I wanted to be, which was me at my ideal weight. The other had a picture of who I didn't want to be, which was me at my heaviest plus some extra pounds because our awesome technology can add that for us. And I wanted to make it obvious for my brain. Now, each time I made a decision about food, exercise, sleep, or anything else that could affect my weight, I went over to my jars and I voted for who I wanted to be by putting a gem into the jar of my choice. Now, when given the choice, I couldn't, in good conscience, vote for the heavier version of myself. I had to vote for what I wanted. And I made it more uncomfortable to eat the cookie than not eat the cookie. So let me read that quote one more time. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. This one sentence is life-changing. Quote number 3, you should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Quote number 4, the most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. And quote number 5, you don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. Awesome, right? Okay, here are some quotes from Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. Quote number 1, there is no magic one-size-fits-all solution for creating habits, but there is a magic that happens when you learn to solve the problem yourself. Quote number 2, when you know how to create tiny habits, you can change your life forever. Quote number 3, the essence of tiny habits is to take a behavior you want, make it tiny, find where it fits naturally in your life, and nurture its growth. Quote number 4, emotions create habits, not repetition, not frequency, not fairy dust, emotions. And quote number 5, to create a new habit, you need to practice the behavior you want to become a habit, and you need to feel successful about doing it. These quotes remind us that habit formation is a skill we can learn and master. It's not about perfection or massive change overnight. It's about consistent, tiny actions that compound over time to create remarkable results. Now, before we dive into the ripple effect of freedom habits, I want to share a powerful story that perfectly illustrates how these tiny changes can dramatically alter the course of your life. Dieter F. Uchtdorf, a former airline pilot, once shared a profound insight about the impact of small changes. He explained that if a plane taking off from the equator were to alter its course by just 1 degree, that seemingly insignificant adjustment would result in a destination that's 500 miles off course by the time it completed its journey around the globe. Now, let's apply this concept to our habits. Imagine you're at the starting point of your journey. Let's call it current you. Your destination is future you, the person you aspire to be, living your dream life. The habits you practice daily are like the course you set for your plane. If you continue with your current habits unchanged, you're likely to end up at a predictable destination. But what if you implement one tiny habit, just 1 degree of change? Let's say you decide to read just 1 page of a personal development book every morning. It seems small, almost insignificant, but over time, this tiny habit could lead to increased knowledge and self-awareness, better decision-making skills, improved focus and concentration, enhanced vocabulary and communication abilities, and a more positive mindset. Just like the plane's 1 degree shift, this tiny habit, practiced consistently, can dramatically alter your life's trajectory. A year from now, you might find yourself in a completely different location than you would have been without this tiny change. Now, imagine implementing several of these 1 degree shifts in various areas of your life. The compound effect would be astounding. You could end up in a totally different country, metaphorically speaking, far from where you would have been if you hadn't made these small adjustments. This is the true power of tiny habits. They might feel inconsequential in the moment, but over time, they have the potential to completely transform your life's direction. They're the 1 degree shifts that can lead you to a vastly different and likely much more fulfilling destination. So, as we move forward, keep this airplane analogy in mind. Every tiny habit you create is setting a new course for your life. You're the pilot, and you have the power to adjust your trajectory at any time. Even the smallest change, when maintained consistently, can lead to remarkable transformations in the long run. As you start to implement these strategies and build positive habits, you'll likely notice a ripple effect in your life. One small habit can lead to bigger changes, creating a domino effect of positive transformation. For example, let's say you start with the tiny habit of drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. This might lead to feeling more hydrated and energized, which could inspire you to take a short walk. The walk might evolve into a regular exercise routine, which could improve your sleep, boost your mood, and increase your productivity at work. Before you know it, that one tiny habit has sparked a series of positive changes that impact multiple areas of your life. This is the true power of habit formation. It's not just about the individual habits themselves, but about the person you become in the process. Of course, the path to forming new habits isn't always smooth sailing. You'll likely encounter obstacles and setbacks along the way. Both Clear and Fogg offer advice for navigating these challenges. 1. Expect imperfection. Accept that you'll have off days or slip ups. The goal is progress, not perfection. Number 2, use the never miss twice rule. If you do miss a day, don't let it turn into 2. Get back on track immediately. Number 3, focus on identity, not outcomes. Frame your habits in terms of who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. Number 4, adjust as needed. If a habit isn't working, be willing to modify it. Maybe you need to make it even smaller or change the timing. Number 5, be kind to yourself. Practice self-compassion when you struggle. Treat yourself as you would a good friend. Remember, forming new habits is a skill. Like any skill, it takes practice and patience to master. The more you work at it, the better you'll become at creating habits that stick and serve your highest goals. So here are some questions to consider. What is one area of your life where you feel stuck or limited? How might creating a new habit help you find more freedom in this area? Think about a bad habit that's holding you back. What's one tiny step you could take to make it less appealing or more difficult to do? What is a ridiculously small habit you could start today that would move you closer to your goals? How can you celebrate your wins and make your new habits more satisfying? What is one existing habit you have that you could use as an anchor for a new positive habit? How might your life be different in 1 year if you successfully implemented just one small positive habit? What's one way you could redesign your environment to support a habit you want to develop? How can you apply the concept of habit stacking to your daily routine? What's a limiting belief you have about your ability to change? And how might you challenge or reframe that belief? Who in your life could act as an accountability partner or a source of support as you work on building new habits? Remember, my freedom-loving friends, every tiny action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. You have the power to shape your habits, and in turn, your habits will shape your life. It's time to break free from what's holding you back and create the vibrant, joyful life that you deserve. The journey of habit formation is deeply personal and unique to each individual. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. The beauty of the approaches outlined by Clear and Fogg is their flexibility. You can adapt and customize them to fit your life, your goals, and your personality. Remember to be patient with yourself as you embark on this journey of creating freedom through habits. Change takes time, and sustainable change often happens slowly. Embrace the process, learn from your experiences, and trust that each tiny step is moving you in the right direction. So, What tiny habit will you start today? I would love to hear about it. Drop me a comment or shoot me a message. Let's cheer each other on as we build our freedom habits one tiny step at a time. Together, we can break free from the invisible chains holding us back and step into the lives we are meant to live. Here's to your freedom, your growth, and the incredible person that you are becoming. You've got this. Live free, love life. Thank you for watching this episode of Live Free, Love Life. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time.